Hello and welcome to I Am Geek, and this is episode 47, and this is a very special episode. Not only am I here, Ryan, and my brother Chris, and our good pal Katrin, but we have a very, very special guest tonight. You may have seen his videos on YouTube, which has garnered a crazy amount of number, 16.1 million views, over that really, and then over 1 million subscribers. He is a guy that created Lucas the Spider. You probably love him. I know your kids love him. This is Joshua Slice. Welcome, Joshua Slice, to I Am Geek. How are you doing tonight?
Hello. How's it going? Pretty good.
Good. Yeah. Now, Joshua is an old friend of my brother Chris. They used to work together out at Rhythm and Hughes.
Yes. Yeah, there for a few years. I think we only really worked on one show together necessarily, on Alvin 3.
Yeah.
Shipwrecked. But you were there for other shows, because I don't think our paths necessarily crossed show-wise until that. But
you were the soup though for.
I was in charge of you. Yeah. Made sure you got your work done. I didn't have to make sure you got all your work done. You were super quick. I basically just stuck my head in the room and was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And you were like, "Yeah, I'm done." I'm like, "Okay, good."
So you were like a boss for a little while?
Well, sure, we'll call that.
So you like inspired him. You gave him like just knowledge, and it turned into Lucas the Spider, probably, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking all the credit for that. No, not at all. That was all him. That's all.
Oh, geez. Now I'm thinking about. Do you remember the scene of them all on the beach singing "I'm a Survivor"?
Oh.
I haven't thought about that in years.
Wow. Yeah, I just remember Michael Locke's scene where Simon catches his foot on fire and has to run down to the beach and jumps into the water. We went outside to record reference for that, and I ran like a wild man, like outside of Rhythm and Hughes, jumping and landing on my butt. Hurt, but anything for the show.
Animation's a dangerous job.
It is. It is very dangerous.
So Chris likes to bring out animators. We call it his animator's vault. He'll just call me and say, "Hey, I got another animator that wants to come on the show," and I'm like, well, "That's great." So you're now part of Chris's animator's vault. We've heard lots of stories about how people how they got into this business, what started them in this business, and all that. So we would just love to hear sort of your background, what got you started in animation, why you chose that as your path, and then how that has progressed over the years, if you don't mind sharing.
Sure. So I think it all started when I was, 11 or 12. It was a summer after middle school, and my mom signed me up for a summer art class down at Polytech in Pasadena. And so I was like, sure, whatever, and didn't think much of it. But really, after that first week, there was nothing else I wanted to do with my life. It was just, I just want to spend my day on a computer making things, and that's it.
Nice.
And then just growing up, that's what I did. I remember freshman year of high school thinking, like, I already know what I want to do. I want to go to college for art. I got 4 more years left. All right.
That's everybody's feeling through high school. It's just like, I want to get through high school. I just got to get through high school.
Yeah.
So you went from basically high school into college, and then out of college, did you immediately find or get plugged into animation, or was it sort of a struggle at first? Or because I know that we've talked to people and they're like, I was a nomad for years, just bouncing from place to place, trying to figure it out. Or how did that journey from sort of school to this animation happen for you?
Right. So when I got to college, I kind of came in thinking that animation meant you build, texture, rig, animate, light, your whole everything. So I didn't really understand that you had to specialize. And it wasn't until Pixar started teaching. Well, they didn't start. They have been teaching at the school I went to, the Academy of Art University.
Oh, cool.
And once doing the first class, that I started to learn kind of like how much fun the nuances of animation could be. Because prior to that, I actually thought animating humans was kind of boring. I didn't know you could do all this, all the subtleties of acting. So,
Oh, that's cool.
so yeah, 5 years of college. I had an internship at Pixar, and then after that, came down back to LA to work at Rhythm and Hughes.
Nice.
And the first show I got to work on was Hop, and then Alvin 3.
Yeah, I avoided Hop somehow. No, it was a good movie, but I did hear some horror stories every now and then from some people. But it turned out really nice, though. You guys did a good job on that.
Man, how'd you avoid that?
I was so I was on Yogi Bear, and our soup on that, Matt Logue, got pulled on to do some tests for X-Men First Class, and he knew that I was a huge fan of comics and stuff, so he pulled me on to help him, and then he left, and that kind of just left me on the show by myself. I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but sure, why not? And yeah, so I was on that show by myself for like months, because everybody was pulled on to Hop, right? Because Hop was just a giant show there, and so I was just kind of keeping that boat afloat, basically.
That's cool. So looking at your page, you've animated you did Epic, Big Hero 6, Frozen Forever or Frozen Fever, Zootopia, Ferdinand. I mean, you've worked on some really cool things here. Is there any big moments that stuck out that you're like, this sort of been your favorite the movies that you've got to work on?
So I too was kind of like a nomad for the first couple years, working from project to project. Once that wrapped up, going into the next place. Big Hero 6 was the breakout movie for me, where I actually felt like I was getting shots that had some length, they had some depth, and I really got a good reel out of it. I also think the work experience on that show was probably my favorite out of all the movies so far. They crammed 8 animators in a small room, and we decorated it to look like a raptor pit from Jurassic Park. But everything was sort of like janky. Like we built a tree out of like Amazon boxes that we use for shipping. We had like confetti hanging from the ceiling. And then we had a giant blown up picture of Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park. The one where he has his shirt off. He's kind of leaning back.
Yeah.
It's the one they made a vinyl out of.
A pop,
Vinyl pop figure. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, that group, like the 8 of us, was such a well-balanced kind of group of personalities. It was just a great summer.
Very
That's
cool.
cool. Yeah, when Chris took me to see where he's working now, sort of a tour of the place, and just I didn't know that everybody sort of decorated their area just like crazy, and I was like, this is a really cool place to work. Everybody has sort of their own station, and it was like just crazy decorated with some kind of theme.
Yeah. Toys everywhere. Typically, they're just little kids. You one point in one of your rooms, you built like a train or something.
Yeah, I was just thinking that we the last studio I was at Blue Sky, we must have sank the $6,000 on actual shit, like material, like the bricks we built the pillars out of were like brick veneers, so they were real bricks that we put around these wooden pillars that we put up, and then the rest of it was kind of wood painted to look like metal. And then the funny thing is, so we laid track basically down the aisle of our little cubicle. So the walkway is a train track, and then as you step up on each side, that's the platform that's like 6 inches off the ground. But that floor is embedded in the concrete of Blue Sky.
That's awesome.
So I imagine years from now, when they move or something happens to that building and they remove all the cubicles, they're going to have this train station sitting there like, what do we do with this? It's stuck.
Got to stay there. Even if they like put a Victoria's Secret or something right there, that train track's there. Like that's it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, whatever company they put in there, they have to just build around it.
It's just going to have to become an actual train station, I think.
Yeah.
No other option.
There's another office. It's a theater, and it's the same deal. It's embedded into the concrete, and it's not moving.
That's great.
That is so cool. So let's get into Lucas. When did Lucas begin for you? When did this idea pop into your head? Because it's wonderful. It's funny and cute, and they're all just a pleasure to watch, even for a 40-year-old or almost 40-year-old like me. How did this come to be?
So I think it was last winter. I was on the East Coast. It was cold. I'm from California. I don't know what to do in the snow. So all my days after work are just spent going home to my apartment and doing nothing. So I was like, all right, I need a project. Let's work on something creatively. And I really like the idea of doing a character with some sort of kind of fur to it. I just wanted that challenge of learning how to do like X-Gen and maybe adding another level to the depth of characters that I've done before. And then with Lucas, I saw right around the time I started, I saw a meme of like a little jumping spider in a leaf. And I thought like, oh, that's really cute. We could push that. How can I make that even cuter? So that sort of became my project. And then, so I made the model that winter. And then there's a series of events that kind of got me back to LA, but I put it on hold because I knew that from August to now, I'd be taking 6 months off. So I wanted something to kind of fill that time. I wanted to save the character and jump back to it back in October to just fill the time. I made that first episode, and actually I was thinking once I released it, like, all right, I need a new project. Maybe do some woodworking, maybe start a new character. I'm not sure yet. But then it went viral, and I was thinking, oh, I should probably make more of these.
oh crap, people like it.
I should see how far I can get before I go back to studio work. So it just became like one day at a time, just keep adding to it.
Nice. And so your nephew is the voice, right?
Right, yeah.
That's really
Awesome.
cool.
He does a great job.
Yeah.
Voicing it. He's got a really good voice for it.
Yeah.
It's really well.
It's crazy. In every episode, he always manages to get the recording right, but it's always a journey getting there. Like the first takes, there's always a moment in every episode where I'm thinking, like, I don't think this is gonna work. and then I get the take where it just works, and like, all right, there we go. All right,
Nice.
we can do this now.
Go ahead.
The crazy thing is, so he actually lives in Minnesota.
Oh.
Wisconsin. And so what I do is, once I have an idea, I kind of record myself on the iPhone, send it over to my sister, and my sister sits down with him to record him.
Oh, wow.
So there's like this process that somehow works. Whenever I get an idea, I just ask my sister for his availability.
Or his manager.
He's how old?
5.
5.
Coming up soon.
Wow. So does he know he's like a voiceover artist now? And that he needs like an agent, probably.
I don't think he's fully like grasped kind of what has happened.
Once he does, he's going to start like making demands. So like a bowl of M&Ms. It's just like all blue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's gonna go crazy.
Yeah. It's kind of wondering like how long do kids' voices stay? Change.
For as long as you need it.
So you just need to like write a bunch of scripts and then just go do these one after the other before your voice changes.
Go out, get some helium. Stuck on that before he does his take again.
Well, it is blowing up. I mean, every time I turn on Facebook or something, his eyes are staring at me on somebody's post.
Mm-hmm.
Today I was looking, like a subgroup thing that I'm in, and somebody posted and said, "Oh, I just love this. It's so great." I'm like, actually, I'm talking, to the creator tonight, and it's awesome, and it's the coolest thing. So everybody's just blowing up, and I think you've made it when you get your own Kids React video.
Oh yeah.
I watched the Kids React video today, and it was funny as always. How did they approach you about that, or did they just do it?
I've been approached by a lot of people. I think they just did it.
No, they just did it.
When I saw that, I was thinking, like, did I talk to them? Or I don't know, but I don't think I did. But I think it's pretty cool anyway. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. And you can sue them anytime. So it's fine.
That's the crazy thing about YouTube, because there's like certain things, like if you post, they'll just immediately reject it and take it down. Like, but other things are just like, oh, this is somebody else's work, but they're using it for comedy, so we'll just let them have it because they're big time. Because Kids React, big time. So it's funny how that works. But yeah, the kids were funny, and most of them loved it. Some of them were still scared of spiders afterwards. And I've read that that's one of the reasons why you've sort of kept doing this, is you want people to not be scared of spiders, that they're not be one of their fears. Is that right, or is that just something somebody wrote?
Yeah, that was sort of like my initial goal, just to create a little bit of sympathy.
Yeah.
Because everyone's reaction. Actually, my thought was, when you see a spider, or anyone sees a spider, people often act like it's life or death. But for the spider, it really is life or death. For you, it's just a minor annoyance.
That's true.
Nice. Are you going to do the same thing for clowns next? Or because they're scary.
My kind of kryptonite are centipedes, or centipedes or millipedes, whichever one, and that are like a foot long and like
Too many legs.
super thick. Like, if I see one in a room, I will go running the opposite.
Yeah. Oh no.
So now we need a Millie the Millipede video. You can have that one for free.
And that'll make my reaction video to it.
Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff that people are Kids React. I think we saw some other things where it was Lucas versus
Piper.
I don't know. I didn't watch it, but so Lucas is making the rounds. I've even got people posting saying, "When's the movie?" So it's popular. People want to watch the spider roll around to sink for an hour and a half. So
yeah. I hope you got another 6 months off coming up, because you got to make a whole movie.
Yeah. It's well, I can't talk about specifics.
Yeah.
We have plans. We have ambitious plans. So
Awesome.
let's do that.
Cool. That's exciting for us.
Mm-hmm.
That's enough. That's all I need to know.
This just in.
I'm tweeting about it right now.
So you have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 6 videos out now. Do you have a favorite?
I think it was definitely the musical.
The musical.
Spider.
Oh, that was great.
Every time I animated, sat down to animate it, it was just, I couldn't stop smiling, because it's like, this is so like ridiculous. Because first, when I animate the spider, you do the up and down bobbing to the beat, and then kind of get into it and like, oh, this is really fun. And then I start plucking the notes, and it was just, I enjoyed it so much that the next episode, which I'm pretty close to releasing a preview image to kind of, I've started doing that, where I've once I get the scene to where I want it with the camera and everything, composition, then I'll release the image and say coming soon to get people ready.
Cool.
And And this one's going to be with a little harp that he made out of sticks, twigs, and webbing.
Oh, sweet.
And there's going to be more to it than that, so it's not just another musical episode. But I'm really excited about it.
Adorable. He dies and becomes an angel.
No.
The end.
That's really cool. So that one's coming out. Well, you're going to announce it soon. I think one of my. I don't know. I think I like the captured one the best for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Was that your reflection in the glass?
It was, yeah.
Ah. I was like, hey, that looks like him in the glass. That was cool. But yeah, I think they're so, like, each individual one is so unique that they have their own. I mean, it's not like you sat down and said, well, this is a viral hit. I'm just going to make basically the same video over and over again. You use the same character, but each one tells a unique story. And I mean, the longest one is 33 seconds. And it tells a story from beginning to end. It's, and it leaves you wanting more. And I'm just very impressed with them. So cool. Anyways,
But how long does it take you to like actually do like an episode? I've been wondering that. Like,
so it's kind of broken down to. So it takes about like a week to set it up, but a lot of that is just spending my time just figuring out what I want, waiting until my nephew and working with his agent to find when he's available, and it really doesn't take long to set it up because the cool thing about doing a spider is that you're so close to the character that everything else is blurred out, so you can cheat a whole lot of things. You really only need foreground elements to be CG, and the rest are just you can cheat, do live action, blur it out. It's animation that's the bottleneck. It's probably takes like each episode's about 600 frames. Takes about a week of like solid animation.
Nice.
That's cool.
And then rendering.
That's quick.
I'm learning what controls to use and what not to use. I'm starting to build a pose library, and so
Very
things
cool.
are speeding up. But so rendering. When I started, I had a laptop that had 4 cores, and that's what I was using. I'm like, all right, I need to upgrade. So I got a 8-core computer that was kind of within my budget. Once I started making money off this, I'm like, all right, I need something faster. So I bought an 18-core computer, and now I'm spitting out frames much, much faster.
Nice. Very cool.
It's cool that because basically this is your baby. You can do what you want to do, and you're not having to. Because Chris has told me stories. You're not having to wait for studios to go, oh, we want these like completely redone, or we've decided to add in a lightning storm here and a flood here, and so basically you have control, so you know what you're going into, and you don't have to sit back and go, am I going to waste all this time doing this scene, and then some bigwig's going to come in and say we've completely changed the character to an alien now, so we need to redo everything. So that I'm sure that helps out.
Yeah, having that freedom is fun.
Very cool. Nice.
Chris, you got any more Lucas questions?
Do I have any more?
I like to put him on the spot.
Yeah, you do like to put me on the spot. So I know, like, especially with me, like, or a lot of people, animation is very collaborative. Like, you show a bunch of people and everything, like you do. So you show it to someone, like, hey, how's this looking? Do you have like your kind of core people that you kind of go, okay, this is what I'm doing right now. Can you have a look at it and kind of see if this is working, or you just kind of just go whole hog and just kind of like just go for it?
Right. Yeah. There are a few people that I'll show, especially early on, to kind of. It's like I'm showing them because I want to show them, but then I also kind of want their feedback a little bit and their approval, and like I'm gauging their interest to see if it's working or not. But then as the episode's coming, I kind of know what works and what doesn't work, so I'm getting a little bit more confidence in what to do. Like with this next one coming up, like I'm so stoked with the one idea I have in mind that like I almost don't want to spoil it for anyone.
Oh no,
I just want to like just do it, post it, and then enjoy the reactions.
Well, I'm excited to see
Awesome.
the next one. Yeah. So is that your polar bear?
Yes. Pretty cool. Yeah, so I mentioned that I went on a 6-month break back in August. The day after I got back, I adopted Dexter as a puppy, a 2-month-old puppy about this big, and now he's 65 pound.
Cool. Woo!
Well, Dexter does great. How did you set that scene up where he gets booped on the nose and then the dog basically takes off? Like, how did that work out?
Oh my gosh, that was okay. So I basically had to get my dog tired so that he could fall asleep in the kitchen, exactly where I wanted him. So I take him to doggy daycare every now and again. I know when he goes, he just plays with dogs for hours and hours and hours. So took him in like the whole day, just let him play. And then I got home and set up my laptop right next to where I wanted to film. And it was really funny because he wanted to go sleep in his bed, but because he's really tired. Like, no, get back here. You're sleeping right here.
I'm the director.
Position him and fall asleep right here. And then once I got him, like, oh, yes, this is it. I was recording him. And then slowly I was like trying to grab the squeak toy to get his attention off screen. And then I'm like, squeak, squeak, squeak. That's what wakes him up and gets him off screen.
Movie magic right there.
Yeah.
That's how I get woken up every day, too. My wife has a little squeaky toy. Wakes me up.
His wife makes him run around all night.
Wears me out.
Wears you out. And then uses a squeaky toy to wake you
then
up.
I fall asleep in the kitchen, and she wakes me up the next day. That's my life.
Well, we are called I Am Geek, the show for the geek in all of us. So I have to ask the question. I try to ask this to everybody. What is the thing that geeks you out? What are you a geek about? What's the thing that you love? Whether it's movies, TV, whatever it is. What's the one thing that you're like, this is what I geek out about? Putting you on the spot.
I think right now, and maybe the poster behind you is helping like the Star Wars. It's just that came out in digital yesterday or the day before, and I immediately got it and watched it again. And all things. There's certain franchises like games and movies, like Star Wars is big, Zelda, Resident Evil, the games.
Oh yeah.
Whenever there's a tentpole kind of episode or game, I'm always there day one.
Cool.
Resident Evils are scary.
I don't think I've ever played through a full Resident Evil game. I think I always started and I'm like, nope, okay, let's do something else. Let's turn the lights on or something.
A friend of ours, Jared Collinger, who's been on the show, I think he got one of them one time. And he's like, I'm coming over, we're turning off the lights, and we're playing this game. I was like, okay. Scared the crap out of me. Oh my goodness, things are jumping out everywhere.
And I didn't know that you. It's the one that I played. You saved with the typewriter. And I didn't know that, so I just kept walking around dying. And I'm like, what is the point? Like, what am I supposed to do? What's
the one that Resident Evil 7 with the VR headset? It's probably one you'll never have the courage to do. Because that game's scary even without it.
Jeez, I bet.
That would be freaky. I did Halloween Horror Nights, which is Universal Studios. They do a Halloween event every year. They had one year they were trying out some tech, and you could be invited back to try it out. And somehow I got invited back to do it, but it was a VR horror thing. And basically, we were in this like scary old mansion, and we're just walking around with this VR thing on, and all of a sudden all these like weird like Grim Reaper things just start slowly coming from the walls and coming at you. It's pretty freaky. And all this stuff is coming at you.
VR is scary even if you're not playing a horror game. Like if you're standing there and you turn around and someone's right there because it's so dimensional and they're just right there.
Yeah.
Something benign would just be like, ah.
Yeah, I really want to play the Star Wars VR that they have called through the Void Company. We had Ray Chase, another guy on here, and he went to it. He said it was amazing. So just to be able to like be in Star Wars and have a blaster in your hand, and so cool. So I take it that you're. Go ahead.
That I heard about that. That's at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Do they so is it like a backpack you wear and that has the computer that runs the VR and then
I know you have a big vest that you wear with the headset. Basically you go into this room, and basically the room has platforms and stuff that you can pick up, like physical things around you. Like a skiff thing that you get on that actually like feels like it's moving. So I think it's really just everything. But I think I'm pretty sure the whatever's in the vest.
Yeah, you're not tethered to anything. So yeah, I think it's all on the what you're wearing, and things will interact with you with the vest, so you'll feel like you're getting shot, kind of. Like you feel a vibration, that kind of thing, and it looks really cool. Yeah, supposedly they have a Ghostbusters game or whatever you want to call it, and some other ones. They're right now the one at Disney World in Orlando. They said it's at least going through April, so we're going down in October. So hopefully it's still there, but I don't know.
I'm sure something will be there. I don't know if it'll be.
Yeah,
Star Wars.
Something will be there.
Something will be there.
A different story. So.
Hopefully it's not like the princesses ride through the forest, because that's going to be like a really let down or something. We got rid of Star Wars, and now you can be Rapunzel.
Yeah, there.
But I don't know. It sounds like something Disney would probably do, especially everything they're doing right now. So you got The Last Jedi, because you saw it behind me. So I'm guessing you're a fan of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have some mixed feelings here.
Yeah. We won't get into that. I'm ready to watch it again, because I watched it in the theater, and I could only make myself watch it once. Of course, these days with a toddler and a 6-month-old, I don't get to go to the movies that much. So it's like, so I need to watch it again. I keep telling people that I need to watch it again and see what happens. I'm just, still very torn up about Mr. Skywalker at the end.
Yeah.
I
think fan theories I think they hurt, because everyone goes in thinking like they know what's going to happen, and when it doesn't happen. It's like, well, I want to hear about Snoke and what's his backstory.
Well, I'm already making the fan theory for the next Lucas in my head, so I'll post a video later saying this is what's going to happen. This is my fan theory, and then when it's not that, I'll just be very disappointed. And not really.
What happened to Snoke?
Thanks for coming on.
No, just kidding. But yeah, it is crazy like that. Like, people get in their heads what they want the story to be. And when it's not what they want it to be, then you might as well have killed everything.
Some of it's their Star Wars' fault, though, too, for in movies in general. As we talk about almost every week, it's like you have teasers, for trailers, for teasers.
Yeah.
And it's like you've seen the whole movie, or you think you have. And that's it. Of course, a lot of it, they try to trick you, because they put together two scenes that aren't even together, just to kind of throw you off. But yeah, I think that's part of it, because you used to, like we say, you used to have one trailer, and that was it.
I was at Disneyland a week before the movie came out, and we went on Star Tours, and they had the updated Episode 2 segment in there. I was like, this is new. Where's this from?
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking about the trailers and piecing it together. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It's not a spoiler, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't got to ride it since they put in the new part. That's the thing I most miss about not living in Florida anymore. It's where I could just, want to go to Disney? Let's go. But now I'm in Texas, and it's far away. No one wants to give me a private jet every day to go see them.
Yeah, here it's just like, hey, you want to go ride a horse? Let's go ride a horse. Okay.
A bull or a horse? Or?
Want to go wrestle some cattle? Yeah, let's go wrestle some cattle. Good.
So since we have two animators in the room, I think it dropped today or yesterday a new trailer for Ready Player One, which is pretty much all
everything
and animated and stuff. What you guys got any thoughts on that movie? You think it's going to be the next big thing, or is it going to be like a? What are your thoughts?
I'm looking forward to it. It looks really cool. Because it definitely struck at the nerd core of me. It's just like, here's everything you love in one package. I'm like, okay, everywhere. But I don't know how it's going to do in theaters. It's one of those movies, like, it looks like it'll be fun, but I don't know if will necessarily draw in the crowds. Like sci-fi movies nowadays, it seems like they have these big action-packed trailers, but not necessarily everybody goes sees them unless it's a staple like Star Wars or Guardians, like Marvel stuff. It almost seems like they kind of flop a little bit in theater unless it's something that's already kind of established. But at the same time, this has everything that's been established in it.
Yeah, I think for people my age, they're going to go see it just because it's like, that's my childhood all wrapped up into one movie. Because I think the new trailer even has Batman flying off a cliff. He's
climbing Everest.
Yeah, it's like everything, and I think it's just going to be one of those visual things that you're going to have to watch multiple times to actually catch everything that's going on.
Oh yeah, it looks great. It looks really cool, and the reviews have been positive so far. I don't really bank on reviews, but but I don't know. Could be good.
I'm looking forward to it.
I can't stop thinking. When I was watching the first trailer, I was thinking, like, how do they not bump into everything? I need to understand how that's going to work in order to be.
Yeah, I didn't quite get that either because there's the preview of like a girl with a headset on. She's like in her living room, jumping over like a couch and stuff. I'm like that doesn't seem like it'll work. Like, I don't. Like if she has a cat, she's stepping on that cat. I mean that.
It's like that. I don't know if you saw. Is it just called Tomorrowland, or what was the movie called? George Clooney. Yeah, Tomorrowland, where she's thrust into the other world through the pin, and she's running and running and running, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Where's all this water coming from?" And she takes the pin off, and she's standing in the middle of a swamp. That's probably what it's going to be like. It's VR everywhere, and then all of a sudden, wait, how did I end up in the ocean? Oh, because I just kept running and driving my car to the ocean through VR. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see how. And there's certain scenes in the trailer where it looks like they're in, like, there's like this rows of people sitting with their VR stuff on. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do any of you guys have a VR headset, a Vive, or Oculus?
No, I've played with them. I animated on that Jorge Gutierrez animated short. And then my mind blanked.
Jaguar?
I worked on
the Jaguar?
Yeah, Son of Jaguar.
I
know the things that I do. I worked on that, and that was really fun. It was really different to like animate in 3D space like that when VR, because we often rely on like 2D kind of cheats when animating the stuff and kind of playing to camera, and really like the person can move around that and kind of see different angles and stuff. So you kind of have to kind of like think differently, almost. You have to work in a lot more angles and everything. So like you're animating it, and it may look good on screen, but you got to export it so they can put it like in Oculus or whatever, and then go watch it and make sure it actually is working. Because there's been a number of times we put it on, and it's like, no, that's not right. No, that's not going to work.
I'm thinking about all the cheats that we as animators do, where like you have a hand that's super close to camera to make it look bigger, and then in 3D it's like, stretched out.
Like scaled it to where it's like giant, and it's like no.
Joshua, do you have a VR headset?
Yeah, I've got the Vive.
Oh, cool.
Every time I put it on, it's the same like wow factor of like I am here in this whatever game I'm playing, and it's always the same. You take it off and you're back in your room, and you're just like, I still don't believe it. I remember the first time I got it, what screwed me up is not being in the game and feeling sick, is taking it off and walking around my house. Because my instinct is now to walk through walls, which it's not possible. Or I'm in the bathroom and I'm like, oh, I should just reach through the sink. Nope, can't do that.
That's hilarious.
Jeez, that's like when you're animating and doing whatever on the computer. You're like undo, 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 and then you do something in real life. You're just like Control Z. I need to Control Z this. That's not working.
That's like
muscle memory. Your fingers are like, no.
Yeah, automatically clicking. Like, what's that guy doing? I don't know. He's just kind of wiggling his finger in the air. It's weird.
Well, it's funny to see like my 3-year-old, like that generation, kids and stuff. Because he'll walk up to the TV and just start trying to press it, like on Netflix. He'll like watch this, and like that doesn't do anything. But every once in a while, I'll just catch him wanting to do it, so I'll press it on the remote. And he presses it. And he's like, "No, see, it does something." I'm like, "No, don't touch the TV."
Well, that's your own fault now.
I know. It's fun though.
It's fun to fool my child.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't got to do much VR besides just a couple of things. I think my first VR experience was, what was it called? Virtua Boy?
Oh,
remember that one?
The game where everything was red?
Yeah, it was Game Boy's version of
Boy.
VR, and it was just like, you put these, it was like on a stand. You didn't even wear them. You had to like put your head down in them, and it was just like all red and black. So you're like playing Mario Tennis for some reason or something, and it's all just red and black and stuff. So that sort of turned me off from VR for a while. The new stuff coming out, I'm like, it's probably just like the Virtua Boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything's still just like the Virtual Boy. You're not missing out.
Oh, good. Okay.
So I remember, my nephew, my nephew and his brother are like huge Star Wars fans. They can tell you everything about every character in the universe of Star Wars. And so when they were over Thanksgiving, I let them play the little Star Wars kind of experience game. It's like a quick kind of like interact with the Millennium Falcon, Stormtroopers, pick up a lightsaber, and their minds were just blown. Like if you mention Star Wars to them, they'll just talk forever about it. But you put the headset on them, and they were just silent because they were like, "Whoa." C3 or no R2D2, and I'm right here, and now I'm holding a lightsaber. Like, it's so much fun to see their awe.
That's so cool. So I bet they're excited about the new the Star Wars Galaxy Edge, Star Wars Land at Disneyland and Disney World. Then we actually get to live it. It's not VR anymore. We get to be a part of it.
Yeah. You can start to see the construction from the parking lot of Disneyland.
That's
nice.
Cool. Yeah, I watched a video today of somebody that was flying over Hollywood Studios, and it was showing the construction there. And next year, we'll get to experience it.
Ryan is moving there. He is actually going to live there. Not leaving.
He's going to hide in the Galaxy's Edge. Just hiding there at nighttime and live there.
Sleep inside a Tauntaun. It's going to be great.
And then when security finds me, I'm going to be like, these are not the droids you're looking for. And they're going to quickly escort me off property.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah.
But yeah, that's it's cool what they're doing with this, because we're talking about virtual reality and everything and how it's moving forward. It's cool what they're doing with that, because it's basically it's going to be a theme park, but you're going to be sort of like you're in a VR situation without the goggles, of course. And you can even stay at the hotel that they're building that's going to be even more immersive. Like you're in space, in your room. I've even seen plans for new lightsaber technology that they're going to be using in the parks. Which, if it happens, it's going to be pretty amazing.
And deadly.
Well,
very deadly.
that there's going to be things that you're going to have a lightsaber that you can interact with, sort of like at the Hog or the Harry Potter land or whatever at Universal with the wands. There's going to be stuff that you can do with lightsabers, but it's going to be more interactive where you're actually fighting things throughout the park. So
that's cool.
That sounds cool.
Hopefully that happens.
Well, yeah, it'll be interesting if they actually do a lot of the things that they said they're going to do with the immersion, aspect, where decisions you make or things that you do on the different rides or things you do at the hotel or whatever, characters would come up to you and interact with you in a certain way and say things. I'm just like, good grief, how in the world, is that all going to work? But
I think they'll do it for 6 months to a year, and then they'll be like, yeah, we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, with all the people that come in and out of there, I don't know how they would do all that, unless they do it only for the people staying at the hotel while you're in the hotel, because what they're saying, how much it's going to cost, they're not going to have a ton of people in there at a time, and it's a pretty crazy stuff they're doing with the screens and and all the of course that's way down the road, I think, at this point.
I mean if you think about it, because they just announced that they're charging for overnight parking for guests. Just imagine what you're gonna have to pay to park in space.
Gee whiz, man.
Wow.
Parking space, right?
Good night, everybody.
This is us, Joshua. We're a bunch of goofballs. But we're about at the 46-minute mark, so we're doing good on time. We had some sad news that came out today. Don't want to end on a sad note, but after how long? 1970s.
Really? That long?
Maybe.
Why don't we Google it?
Google time. Talk amongst yourselves.
Anyways, toys. You Google it. You find out when they opened. Toys R Us is closing all of their U.S. stores for good. They've declared bankruptcy, and they're killing the hearts of millions of children.
So in 1948.
Whoa.
Wow.
There is this guy, his name is Charles P. Lazarus, and he had a children's furniture store that he started in 1948. So it was, and then it changed, and then in 1969 is kind of when they started the whole Toys R Us
that's close
ordeal. But the dream started in 1948, it seems.
Wow.
So, Joshua or Chris or Katrin, do you guys have any special memories in your heart from Toys R Us growing up?
Yes.
Yes.
Next question.
Yes, I do.
I do. I was telling this today. I said where I'm from, and near Knoxville, Tennessee, just south of Knoxville, we didn't have a Toys R Us in Maryville, Tennessee. Right? We had KB Toys and what was the other one? Whatever else. We had those toy stores, and they were small. And there was a Toys R Us in Knoxville, but we didn't go that much because it was kind of like 30 minutes or so away, and it was just a big deal to go, back then. And when we would go, it was just like, oh my gosh. And then everything was expensive, more than what you normally see. But they had all the cool toys, because KB Toys had a lot of stuff, but it was, a subset of what Toys R Us had. So it's always a big deal. So then in college, there was one right down the street, so we went all the time, I guess. But and then my son, who's 6, we go every once in a while, and for some reason he has got this understanding that we don't have to buy things every time we go, which is awesome. I can take him there, and he'll play in the little powered vehicles. He'll just sit in them and pretend he's driving, and he'll talk to other people and like sit in the seats with them with other kids and have a good time. And then we'll look around at a few things, and every once in a while he would be like, oh, I want that. And we're like, no, we're not going to get anything, But he's totally fine. It's the greatest thing. We could go and play in this big store and leave, and so it'll be sad it's gone. Somebody said today, they said, I hope something good goes in there, and I'm like, no, everything's closing. They're not going to put anything in there, It's the reason they're closing is because everybody buys things online. It's a big place, so they could do like a Dave and Buster's or something like that, I guess, with it. I don't know, but I don't do anything with it. But yeah, it's sad.
It's sad.
It's sad.
Yeah, it's sad. I remember, the Toys R Us, especially with Toys R Us, as a kid, starting to realize that they had special figures that they wouldn't put a whole lot out of in like sets, like the X-Men set, like the '90s kind of classic X-Men figures. There was a Gambit figure that had like this like really cheap kind of jacket or whatever, and like this like karate kick or something for some reason.
Gambit's known for his karate kicks.
He is known for his karate kick. But I was a big Gambit fan. I was like, I got to get a Gambit, and I'd go into the store, and there'd be like 50,000 of one character that
Jubilee
probably have Jubilee basically, or Cable, and like 10 versions of Cable, but but then they had like one Gambit, typically with every like other shipment, and so you'd have to like go in there when they put the shipment out and get it. Otherwise, collectors would come in and buy all the little rare ones, and kids couldn't get them. And they go and sell them at comic book stores for like super expensive stuff. It was like, dang it, I want a Gambit. I got the Gambit.
You got your Gambit.
Oh, eventually get a Gambit. I still got it.
You still have them? Oh,
yeah. And now I'm the guy that goes to the stores and buys all the stuff. No.
You're the reason that Toys R Us is closing, because kids can't buy toys anymore.
Exactly, I buy them.
Joshua, you were mentioning before we started about the ticket system that Toys R Us had. I remember those. I remember growing up going to buy video games, and you'd have to find the ticket. Hopefully they had them. Sometimes they didn't, and then go to the cage up front, and you'd have to slide the like they thought, like I guess people were just like armed robbers were just going to come in and just like steal all the video games, because it was like a prison. You'd have to slide your little slip under the little cage, or where we grew up anyways, and then they would you would pay for the game and they'd slide it back out.
I thought it always turned into like a little scavenger hunt. Like you had to find the slip to your game if you want to get the game.
Yep. Like you're
I was trying to remember the game.
It's just like you're betting on horses or something. You're going to the cage. Like I won 30 on Pac-Man.
I remember, I forgot what game it was. It was an N64 one. It was a tentpole, like Zelda or Mario, something like that. And I remember going into a few days before it came out, and because they had them all in the back, they were like, "Oh, we'll just sell it to you a few days early."
Oh.
I was like, "What?" And took the game home and just played it to my heart's content.
I didn't even have to have a slip. They gave it to me. That's cool. Yeah, they don't. I don't know when they stopped doing that for the games, but it's been a while, because when I had the pleasure of working for Toys R Us, they should have still had the slips, because it actually did get robbed while I was there. They didn't have the cage anymore, and these people came in. It was like a group of them, and they like I was in the video game section working, and they found one of the cases that was. They jimmied it open when nobody's looking, and they just grabbed a bunch of stuff and just started running out of the store. And the policy was you couldn't chase them. It's like, why? It's like half the fun, chasing the thieves. But yeah, I remember working Black Friday at Toys R Us, and let me tell you, it was rough. I remember pressed against the game cases for like, all night long, with just swarms of people pressing me in, trying to get games out of the case. And Toys R Us.
The horror.
Do you guys remember the scene in Big Hero 6 where Tadashi runs into the building, and then the building explodes, and then Hero flies back, and like the white sort of like fades to white, basically?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
I was in dailies when they were showing that, and it's just the directors, the supervisors. I'm in the back. I start giggling, and they look over at me. I'm like, it's like being a retail worker on Black Friday. Open the doors.
That seems right. Yeah.
Yep. You are correct. Yeah, I think I only worked at Toys R Us for a couple of years, but I was like, I think it was, they kept promoting me, and I'm like they hired me as like a seasonal worker, because it was when I was going through get my master's and stuff, so I was doing that on the side, and they kept promoting me, and I'm like, why are you promoting me? Because I'm not going to stay around here. Hey. But I'm like, why are you promoting me? And they're like, oh, well, you don't steal money from us, so we think we can trust you. And I'm like, so this just happens like all the time? They're like, oh yeah, other employees, they just steal money. So I'm just like, well, now we know why they're bankrupt, because their employees steal their money from them, and that's why they promoted me to like full time and benefits.
And you
and
stole it too, but you were just better at it. You just didn't get caught.
No, I didn't steal. I did get. I worked the full time, like big position in the office was like in charge of back of house where all the like returns and like defective products come. So that was always fun because I would have to play with them. They're like, okay, part of your job is to play with these to see what's wrong with them. So I would just sit back there and play with Nerf guns and all kinds of stuff and see what would kill a kid and what didn't, and wrap them back up and put them on the shelf.
Did you find how many toys were actually broken, or is just use your error of not knowing?
Yeah, there was a lot that. Yeah, there was a lot that just went back on the shelf because I'm like, well, this is fine. It works. And there were some that you could tell that the kid took it home and was rough with it and just broke it, and they brought it back and said, this is broken. But yeah, a lot of stuff went back on the shelf. Yeah, it got, I don't know why it looks like it went through a microwave. I don't know. It came like that.
I think the reactor in this was bad. I don't know.
Yeah. It was a fun, interesting job. Well, cool. You guys have anything else for Joshua? Tell us all your secrets. No.
What's your favorite color?
I got like a coupon thing for like cat food or something.
You want to give that to Joshua?
I mean, you asked if I had anything for him. You put me on a spot here. I don't really have anything. I don't know. You want a USB drive? It's
now you're just showing off.
Now you're just showing off.
Like, you want this? No, you can't have it because it's mine.
I'm in other questions, but anyway. Well, Joshua, yeah, sorry. Anyways, thank you for coming on. Thank you for putting up with my brother those years that you had to work with him. I hope he treated you well. I hope you had fun. You're welcome back anytime, especially when when you're making millions with Lucas. Just remember us little guys. Does YouTube still do the plaques that they send out to people?
So they have a silver plaque for 100,000. It's a silver button for 100,000 subscribers. They never told me that. They never got back to me on that. And then the million button is the gold button, and I'm told that takes a few months to process. But I still haven't heard from that either. It happened so quickly that I think it's taking them time to kind of process.
Gotcha. That's cool. So you're gonna have some buttons.
Hey.
Yeah.
Originally, I thought it'd be cool, because I thought the buttons would come a little bit quicker, and I was like, I could do an episode of Lucas interacting with the button.
Oh, that would be cool.
It's the button.
That'd be great.
Boop. Well, cool. Thank you for coming on again. We love Lucas. We can't wait to see what comes out next. We got a little sneak peek here about some twigs and a harp. Can't wait to see what happens there. And then hopefully it just keeps growing for you, and it just keeps doing new things for you and opening up more doors for you. Is it Baxter?
Dexter.
Dexter. Sorry. Tell Dexter we said hello, and he did a great job. And tell your nephew to get an agent.
Yeah.
Get an agent now. But again, thanks for coming on. We've reached our hour. It's been a great time. And if you can, everybody listening, like, share, comment, let everybody know about this episode and the rest of the episodes. We want to get it out there. And let's get Lucas up to 3 million subscribers. Let's just keep going. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see all he does. Anyways, thank you guys for being on I Am Geek, and thank you guys for listening. And we will see you next time on I Am Geek.